Welcome to the Rocket Rewind, the show where we get together and talk about things that matter, things that are interesting, and shit that might just blow your mind. Yeah, they're our opinions, and you don't have to like them. We might not like yours either, but feel free to share them in the live chat. This is America, where we have free speech, cancel culture, Karens and Darrens, all working together in such super sweet harmony. Yeah, right. Sometimes the things we talk about might help restore our faith in humanity, but all too often it's going to be stuff that might piss you off like it does us. Make sure you have your grown-up panties on and come join the conversation. Oh yeah, and make sure you subscribe and turn on those notifications. You don't want to miss this weekly dose of provocative discussion. The Rocket Rewind, Sundays at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Let's get into it. Viewer discretion is advised.
Woo! Happy Sunday.
What's going on?
What up?
Happy Sunday.
Happy Sunday indeed. Boy, that week went fast.
Yeah, no joke, man. Today went fast. Actually, I was trying to be lazy and it didn't work. I didn't get to laze around. I didn't have enough time to be lazy. Let me run through the chat real quick. We got Stu Dorman with the tractor in his backyard. What's up, Stu? Good to see you. Leah Sobey's here. Hope you get to feeling better. John Wayne is here. Taylor Ray Tonch is here. I hope you dodge that COVID, honey. Steve the Body Man is here, of course. We got Megan D. Gaming also. Look at that. Imagine that. There's Southpaw 73. What it do, what it do. Brooklyn's here. What's up, Brooklyn? Good to see you. Emergency response bids all the way from England. We won't hold that against you. We got Jamie H. in the house, of course. I see Dragon Man Assassin. What's up, Dragon Man? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. We've got whoa, look out. I lost my mouse. There we go. We got Jorge Gaming. What's up, Jorge? Good to see you, brother. Welcome to the stream. Chris Talbert, of course, is here as always. Good to see you, Chris. Chris is actually on YouTube and Facebook at the same time because he can rock and roll like that.
He's that good.
Yes. Definitely like top-notch moderator there. Marcy B, what's going on? Good to see you. Welcome to the stream. There's AJOT, American Justice of Texas. How's that new baby doing, girl? How's that new baby doing? Linda K is here. What's up? Welcome to the stream. Steffi's here. What's up, Steffi? Welcome. Good to see you. Doolin's here. What's up, Doolin? I'm surprised you're not playing Starfield right now. Or maybe you are. Maybe you have Starfield on one screen and this on the other. I can't assume. I better not assume. That's right, Megan. We did not get the beard memo.
No,
so
we did not.
we'll
You
let
were part of it. You were part of the discussion, Megan. You could have just grew a beard. I mean,
yeah.
I'm starting a new job tomorrow, so I don't know if they want me to grow a beard.
I mean, could have tried.
That might not be a good thing.
No.
Not be a good thing. Dustin K, what's up, brother? Welcome to the stream. Yep, I knew it. There he is. He's playing Starfield. It's oh yeah, that's right, Megan. I forgot. It's Canadian Thanksgiving today.
It
It
is.
is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What? Hey, do they eat turkey up there for Thanksgiving?
I don't know, eh?
I don't know.
Tommy Powers, what's up? Oh, she's 2 months old and 9.5 pounds. Oh my goodness.
Aw.
I'm not sure. I can't remember what my daughter said my granddaughter weighs. She's 6 months old now, but she's on like, how they have that height and weight chart and everything.
Yeah.
Mhm.
She's like skirting the outer edge of that chart, like she's over the norm. She's a big one. She is a big one.
Oh, yeah.
Linda K says it's a mess in Decatur right now. I bet it is. They had a officer involved shooting in Decatur. matter of fact, we may touch on that. There's not a whole lot of information, like solid, like video information, anything like that to share. The only video I found was oh wait, here's another angle. This was let me put this on the screen here. So this happened in Decatur, Alabama. I'm getting this from 48, but it's an officer-involved shooting. So what the story here is 39-year-old Steve Perkins is the one that got fatally shot by law enforcement there. ALEA, the Alabama Law Enforcement or Agency, is handling the investigation. That's like the state police. So Decatur police got called to Perkins' home by a tow truck driver trying to repossess his truck. They said Perkins had already threatened the driver with the gun before the police were involved. The video shows the tow truck pulled back into the driveway. Then an officer moves behind the truck and in front to surround Perkins. Police said officers fired when Perkins pointed a gun with the flashlight attached at him. So here's this is over in here is where it's where it took place. Let's see if we can get this. Oh shit! No, sorry, can't play free ads for you. I'll let it play through so you can get the ad rev, but we can't put it on the audio. Keeson, what's going on, brother? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Okay, so let's get the sound back.
Hey Liz, how you doing? Welcome to live stream.
The beard man's Jamie and Steve. That's right. So over here is the house where the incident supposedly happened. Now, my understanding is this was not the correct home to be repoing a vehicle. His vehicle was not in repossession, is what the family attorney is alleging. So I mean, he's defending his property, in my opinion, in a way, by telling the tow truck driver to get out of there. But anyway, the police show up and they said that he pointed a gun at him, and then they returned fire before he was able to shoot.
Whoa.
Which, by the way, I have a camera with Vivint like this on my driveway, and the picture is so good like this.
What kind of cameras you using?
It's Vivint.
Vivint?
Yeah, Vivint security system cameras.
I'll look into that.
Walmart should look at upgrading to Vivint.
All right, let's see. This is 5 minutes long. All right, there's the police arriving on scene, it looks like. Or maybe not. Maybe they're waiting on their backup. Oh, there's the tow truck. Now, this is not a job I would want. Is repoing. Hey, Tow for Life, what's going on, brother? So that's why you're supposed to vend the cars, make sure it's the right one. Now, I don't know. I mean, there hadn't been a whole lot of info put out. Like I say, it's been the only stuff coming out is other people's video cameras and stuff. But there he is. That's supposedly his light right there, right?
So they killed the homeowner.
Yeah.
Wow, that was quick response from police.
Where did they come from? They just like showed
They was
up.
in the corner of the house.
What?
Yeah,
The
they must have
Unless
been
the
on
repo
side.
guy called the police ahead of time, have him meet him there.
Well, supposedly he had threatened them. So here they are right there.
Yeah.
There's the cops. Yeah. So there is a lot of protesting and outcry in Decatur right now because like I say, there's claims this was not the correct house, that the guy's vehicle was not in repossession, and that he had the gun to defend himself. It just happened to have a flashlight on it. When he turned to see where the cops, what the noise was, where the cops were, they took that as him pointing a gun at him with the flashlight on it, so they shot him.
So is the family going after the police and the township or whatever for wrongful death?
Yeah, they're going to be filing a lawsuit. I know, Toe, it was a lot of shots, man. I saw at least 3 officers that looked like they may have been firing. So, you know, I mean, there was at least a mag dump probably from most of them.
Yeah.
Zachary Vest, what's going on, brother? Good to see you. But yeah, that's what's going on in Decatur right now. That's why Leah says it's wild in Decatur right now. It's over that. And rightfully so. I mean, if it was the wrong house, if everything was wrong, this dude's just defending himself at that point, you know, in my opinion. Now you still don't point your gun at cops, but he didn't know they were cops is what they're alleging.
I've never seen cops tag along on a repo like that. I've always seen, repo contacts law enforcement, say, hey, we're going to be a repo on this vehicle, such and such area. Just give you a heads up in case the car report stolen.
Well, from what the article said, though, is the tow truck had been there once already and he threatened him with a gun. So then he called law enforcement. The tow truck driver did, and then goes back with law enforcement at that point because he's been threatened with a gun.
Law enforcement should like knock on the door. Hey.
Well, that's my thought process, right? Law enforcement should have went knocked on the door and said, "Hey, look, tow truck driver called, just said you threatened him with the gun. You know, leave the gun in the house. Come out here, let's talk. You know, let's verify the VIN number on the vehicle. You know, blah blah blah." There's another way this could have been handled.
Yeah.
But in the heat of it all, you know, did the officers think about that? I mean, I don't know. I agree with you, Toe. If it was the wrong vehicle and he wasn't supposed to be repoed and the tow driver initiated all of this shit, then yeah, the repo company and towing company should all be involved in that. And whatever bank ordered the repo for failure to oversee their contractors.
That was some kind of a filing error right there on the bank's behalf.
Yeah. Now, of course,
I actually had that happen to me. My current people who hold the title for my car actually did that, and I had to go fight that whole thing too. So
shit.
Yeah, it's a nightmare, and that was all because of one person. And they actually, I don't know what they did, but they fixed it within 15 minutes. So
it's amazing what happens.
What's that?
It's amazing how it happens. You call the right people and stuff gets squared away quickly.
Well, you know, years ago when I worked for Lowe's Home Improvement in Baton Rouge, I saw a vehicle pull up next to my vehicle because we had parking lot cameras. And I saw a vehicle pull up next to my vehicle. And the next thing I know, there's a tow truck backing up in front of it right after that. And somebody in the other vehicle standing there kind of directing them on what to do. So I went out there and I'm like, hey, what the fuck? And they're like, we got a repo order on this. I said, who? And they said this vehicle right here. I said, who's it supposed to be? And they said the name. I'm like, motherfucker, that's my car. And that ain't my name. You might want to double check that VIN number, because if you so much as touch this car, I'm personally gonna arrest your ass. You're on my property right now. You're on private property I handle. And they checked the VIN number and I was like, oh, well, the plate number is real close. I'm like, well, but
real close doesn't mean the real one.
It's like horseshoes isn't hand grenades.
Yeah, close don't fix it.
No.
It's like, are you dyslexic? I mean, it might be close, but it's not that plate.
A B looks like an 8.
I mean, but what if I had to come out that evening to leave if I hadn't noticed it and my car's gone? Then I got to jump through all them hoops, to get it back.
Well, then your car's paid off, though, isn't it?
The Camry is not. Now that car then was not either. No.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, if your car was paid off, then you just report it stolen.
Yeah, it wasn't paid off.
Yeah.
The last I heard, Dragon Man, Darby, the Huntsville police officer in that shooting we talked about a while back, the district attorney's office claims they plan on re-prosecuting.
That's the guy that went into the house after the female officer had control of the situation.
Yep.
And the dude was sitting on his couch. Okay.
Yep. They overturned the conviction got overturned because jury instructions were given incorrectly. So it got overturned on a technicality, but the district attorney's office claims they're going to retry it. So Toe says he knew a guy that repoed a car with a child in it, and he got charged with kidnapping.
Oh,
surprise!
Yeah,
wow.
Surprise, motherfucker.
He should have got out and checked that car, make sure it was clear before he hooked up.
Yeah. Now, Alabama has a stand your ground statute that allows you to defend yourself on your property. You're not required to retreat. If you're on your property, you're not required to retreat. Now, I know most tow truck drivers carry firearms. And now, if the tow truck driver didn't pull it out, then there's no there's no threat of imminent bodily harm just because somebody has a weapon in a holster. But I wonder if this had went the other way and, the tow truck driver and the homeowner had gotten in a shootout, would the stand your ground law have helped this guy or not? Oh, I didn't realize that, but it makes sense, and it should be. Toe says in Ohio, if you repo the wrong vehicle, you can get grand theft auto. That's why you always check the VIN. I mean, you should, just to make sure you're not taking the wrong person's ride to work the next morning. But yeah, I'm glad that's in the books over there. Cernal, what's up, brother? Good to see you. But speaking of cops and shootings, here's one. Jamie, I think you found this one, didn't you?
I don't know. Depends on which one it is.
Yeah, it was off of TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So this sheriff here, so apparently this is in Santa Rosa County. This is Santa Rosa County, Florida?
I think so.
I think it's in Florida. So a homeowner shot a home invader, but apparently it didn't kill him. So this is the press conference that the sheriff gave after that.
We don't know which homeowner shot at him. I guess they think that they did something wrong, which they did not. If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually. So whoever that was, you're not in trouble. Come see us. We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday. And if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save taxpayers money.
Yes, Lord.
I'll laugh. I said, yeah, I gotta share that one with the folks.
Yeah. And I mean, I get it. There was, so in the state of Louisiana, there were some real funny laws when we lived down there. And we had a guy that lived next to us that was paranoid schizophrenic. And he would have some days where I had to come home from work sometimes. Like, he followed my son home from the bus one time, talking all kind of craziness, talking about liquid oatmeal buttons and color coordinating your crickets and, weird stuff, right? And my son was not even, he was like between 10 and 12 at the time, So he's walking home and this dude's following him and saying all this shit. And then he had this like weird cackle laugh that he would do. And he was like knocking on my son's window and all that. And my son was freaked out, and so I was like, when he called me, I was like, okay, I'm on my way, but I'm going to also call the sheriff's department. And this was not the first time I had called the sheriff's department. This was the Livingston Parish Sheriff's Department. This was not the first time I had called the sheriff's department on that neighbor because he was just nuts. Nice guy, but if he was off his meds, he was crazy as fuck. Ain't no other way to explain it. Anyway, so I called the sheriff's department. I'm on my way home, and I told the dispatcher on the sheriff's department, I was like, I'm on my way home right now. I said, and I hope y'all get there before I do, so the dude don't get hurt, because he's fucking with my son, and I will defend my son. And when I got there, there was already three patrol cars there with him in handcuffs. And they got there pretty quick. They didn't want to clean that mess up, I guess. Is that going on right now, Liz? Bank robbery right now by your house? Holy shit. Be careful around there. Lord have mercy. But anyway, Louisiana's law, the deputies told me, they said, if he ever comes in your house, in Louisiana, somebody can break in your house, and if they're not armed and there's no threat of imminent bodily harm, you can't hurt them. Like if they bust up in your house and say, I'm not going to hurt you, I'm just going to steal your TV.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to hurt them. And one of the deputies was like, but he could have grabbed one of your kitchen knives, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wink, wink, whatever. And, basically they just say the deputies in Livingston Parish would tell you, say, if you have to shoot somebody that comes in your house, make sure they're dead, because a dead man can't testify against you.
Only one story to be told.
Yeah, exactly. I did hear about that, Toe, and I do want to try to get a little more information on it. It's pretty wild. But there was a torture warehouse in Baton Rouge the cops were taking people to. They strip search them, torture them, waterboard them, different shit like that in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. They called it what'd they call it, Toe? It was the oh man, I forgot what it is now. But it was, they had a nickname for it, for the warehouse they take people to. It was something like the Tough House or something, but it wasn't that. It was something else. But I want to get a little more info on that. The police chief had a meltdown at oh yeah, here's the deal. Did a video on it. That's right. Yeah, I'll look that up. I don't think I can show his stuff. I think he's a little funny about people showing his stuff, but I'll do some investigating on it and see what we can pull up for next go round.
The Brave Cave.
The Brave Cave. That's it. The Brave Cave. Let's see. Speaking of Brave, here's Megan. I think you shared this with me. A police officer and some bystanders.
Oh yeah.
Lifted a car off of somebody. This happened in Georgia. This was posted on the 28th, but it happened the week prior to that. It was Lawrenceville, Georgia. How close is that to you, Jamie?
Oh, that's way up north. That's up close to Atlanta area.
Southpaw said, hey, y'all put this on pause for 6 minutes. Just talk to each other. I'm going to go make some popcorn. Oh, Lord have mercy, Jesus. But anyway, so here's some good news that happened here. Hopefully ABC Channel 7 doesn't copyright me on this.
Video is dramatic. A Georgia police officer and a group of bystanders lift a car to save a teenager's life. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has the story.
He can't breathe. You're going to lift this car up right now. Yes.
New video shows the moment a Georgia police officer and a group of bystanders lift a nearly 2-ton car to save a teenager's life. It happened near Atlanta around 11 p.m. Sergeant Michael Peterson spots a speeding car and follows it. Moments later, he sees the car overturned.
Sir, please help us out. Please help us out. Y'all now.
3 teenage passengers are able to crawl out of the upside-down vehicle, but one is stuck inside. The teens tell Sergeant Peterson the 19-year-old driver flew out of the sunroof and is now being crushed beneath the car, struggling to breathe.
Can you breathe? Can you?
Jesus.
You can't breathe.
Peterson instructs the teens to help him lift the car.
He can't breathe. You're going to lift this car up right now. Yes.
With the help of some good Samaritans who stopped to help, they struggled to lift the 3,600-pound vehicle.
Come on, y'all. We got this. Come on, y'all.
Their teamwork paying off as they lift the car enough to free the driver.
He's out. Good job, y'all. Stay down.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Jeez.
Hello, I'm Mark Brown.
Something said about seatbelts.
Jeez, yeah, got ejected through the sunroof.
Could you imagine that?
God.
Half in, half out.
man.
Man.
I've seen some ejections that were pretty bad, like parts come loose from people.
Yeah.
It was pretty gross.
Yeah.
So our main story I wanted to cover tonight is one that happened right here in Huntsville. I'm trying to prolong things and wait on Southpaw to get back with his popcorn here.
Southpaw.
Well, if you're gonna prolong it, the pictures there, well, not pictures, but the images that you were talking about with the accidents.
Yes.
State Farm used to go around to new car shows and stuff like that. You know, when they had, you know, the new and upcoming cars every year, and you know, they would also show, you know, different manufacturers. We would show their concept vehicles and whatnot. Well, State Farm was going around where you could do like a driver's test thing with them, and it was all simulated. It was kind of cool. But they also had an open scrapbook, like 2 or 3 of them. And they were big. They were big, thick books of all pictures from accidents that actually happened of people who did not survive. And the pictures of the people were in the photos. And it was like they had some really gnarly stuff. I was going through it, and I do not have a weak stomach, but I saw one picture that absolutely started making me sick, and I had to walk away. I had to go sit down because I started getting a little woozy from what I was seeing.
Oh yeah.
But the accidents that they were showing were absolutely insane.
Yeah, some of that stuff is pretty intense, man. Yeah. I've been to a couple of them that were fatalities, and it sticks with you, man. That stuff is pretty rough.
Southpaw says he'll just run back and forth. He can still hear us.
Let's see. You can hear Steve now, Megan?
Yeah, I can hear Steve. Yep.
Okay. I just
saw
you.
My mic disconnected from Windows. I had to fix that real quick.
I got you. Okay.
Freaking.
But anyway, so this one happened in Huntsville. This actually happened in 2019. It's already been through a local court, and then I say local, a local federal court for a lawsuit, and then went back to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals decided that it needed to go to trial because qualified immunity was revoked for these officers because they broke the Constitution so badly here and state law. But this comes out of Huntsville. Let me see if I can get it large enough on the screen where we can see it. And this is the video that was released by the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals. All right, so here's the backstory to this. The call came in from security at a church that said that one of their employees' cars was being messed with by 2 Hispanic males. Right. And so he calls the police. The police come out there. It's 2 officers. The body cam is from Krista McCabe. I cannot find for sure if these 2 officers are still employed or not. And I'll show you the city's response. The city did have a response, and that's all that they're giving out right now. When asked for comment, they just keep referring you back to that one comment from the city attorney, and that's all we're going to get. But the officer shows up, and the whole case centers around the fact that the officer came up, asked him for identification. He's like, I don't have time for this right now. I'm not going to give you any identification. I haven't done a crime. And they arrest him for interference with government operations, basically, refusing to identify. But here's the thing about the state of Alabama. Well, I'll get into that. I'll get into that after, because that's part of the opinion. Let me share that with you after this. But here's her pulling up to this vehicle that supposedly 2 Hispanic guys are messing with in the parking lot.
47, 10-4.
So if you've never seen the CAD in the Huntsville Police Department car, here it is right here. It does have GPS routing and all that stuff to it. She just turned her dash cam on. Now, the dash cam wasn't included in this release, but I'm pretty sure they reviewed it.
Good. How are y'all doing? I'm 36, I'm 420.
You stealing a catalytic converter?
How you doing? What y'all doing?
What are y'all doing? That's the question she asked. What are y'all doing? You know what my response would have been? What the fuck does it look like I'm doing?
I dropped a car with damn toes.
I mean, obviously there's a tire off the car right here. You know. But this guy is, I mean, this is later in the evening, right?
Mm-hmm.
He has a mechanic shop on Governor's Drive. And he's been trying all day to get finished up with stuff so he could get over here and look at this car. So he's already had a long ass day of working on cars and shit. So he's probably had enough of the bullshit by this point. And then this officer's going to pull up and be like, hey, what are y'all doing? I'd have been like, eating cookies. What you doing? but anyway, so let's see how this plays out, because this happens quick.
Description. Huh? What are y'all doing?
Getting the car.
36, is this your car?
There's a drive on tag. One of my customers. 1867.
One of your customers?
Dog tail. Yeah.
He just said her name.
Mm-hmm.
He just said.
Whose car is that?
That's mine.
The black one?
Yeah.
I hate them scissor jacks, man.
Yeah. Well, it actually, I think it comes off the jack.
I've had that happen before.
Oh, I did too. About a week ago.
Oh, damn. You should have put chocks on the other side.
Yeah, there's probably a little bit of a slope to that parking lot.
Oh! God, I hope his head wasn't in the way.
No, it wasn't.
All right, take a break from me real fast, and y'all have driver's license or IDs on you?
I ain't gonna submit to no ID. Listen, you call the lady right now. Listen, I ain't got time for this. Don't worry. I don't mean to be rude or nothing.
Okay, no, you do need to give me your ID or driver's license.
No.
All right. There is another cop walking up on this dude. He is already ready to rock and roll. Look at him.
Mm-hmm. Got posture.
Yep, he is already ready to rock and roll. But we're only about, I don't know, 45 seconds into this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I don't want you to run me in and for nothing.
Are you refusing to give me your ID or driver's license?
You call this lady on this
Step
car.
over that one.
Come on, man.
What the hell's he doing?
Here's y'all playing.
No.
You're playing right now. We don't got time for this. We really don't got time for this.
We don't got time for this.
Yeah, you were called out here to investigate this.
You don't understand the law.
I do.
You understand the law?
Is he allowed to do that?
I wouldn't think so.
By the way.
I mean, it's Huntsville. Are they allowed to do that right off the bat?
No.
I'm shocked, then. I'm absolutely shocked.
All right. So, couple of quick problems here I have with this is, number one, it went too quick.
Mm-hmm.
He was not threatening. He was not belligerent. He just, said, look, you can call the lady that owns this car. I'm not giving you my ID and have you run it. And because, there's no need to, right? And this cop here, when he comes up, he's just a prick. I mean, the whole thing is, now we've all had a flat tire, right? At some point.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
It's never at a good time. It's never fun. It's never fun to jack up a car. And then this jack just fell on him. He's already trying to hurry up and get this done. So you can imagine his level of irritation. Right. So as a officer who's responding to a call of two guys messing with a vehicle, when she came up, started talking to him, and she asked, whose car is it? He says, one of my customers. Okay, well, then that conversation needs to go a whole different direction at that point. Okay, well, who's your customer? Do you have her phone number real quick? Because somebody called. We just got to make sure that, you're supposed to be messing with the car. If you got her name and phone number, I'd give her a call and get on out of your hair.
I agree. However, if it was one of his customers, all he had to do was show an RO.
Well, there may not have been one.
Maybe been a favor to a good friend or something.
Well, because my understanding is he got a phone call that said, hey, my wife's car's broke down at the church she works at. Can you go over there and pick it up and take a look at it? I don't think there's any paperwork on this right now.
From what I read, it wasn't.
Yeah, but he said the woman's name, right? And or it might have been the husband's name that he said, because the husband's the one that actually called him. But it would have been real simple for the officer to say, okay, well, what's the phone number? You got their phone number, whatever. And she could have called and been like, hey, I'm out here with Mr. So-and-so. He says he's supposed to be picking up a car and working on it for you, did y'all know that was happening? And they're like, yeah. But then you got to do your due diligence too, right? Like, well, what color, what kind of car is it? Oh, okay. I think this is an older Camry. Okay. And what color is it? Okay. All right. And it's registered to you. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. If I need to holler back at you, I will. And then she could have ran that plate, made sure it was registered to the person that just identified themselves on the phone, color and everything matched. Like if that's what they was telling her, then investigation's done. Yep. Nobody got arrested. Nobody had to show ID, and
they're always quick to ID, and I don't understand that. Well,
it's like crack, dude.
If he's a bad person, don't you think he would have a fake ID if that were the case? I mean,
well, most of the reason why they want that ID is they want to be running for warrants.
These people are crazy.
And I mean, and that's fine to run somebody for warrants if you have a reason to ID somebody. Alabama is one of those states where the identification statute is pretty clear. Actually, I'll pull it up. Because it's pretty similar in most. Okay, share this tab instead. Let me blow it up a little bit. Okay, so this is section 15-5-30, authority of peace officer to stop and question. A sheriff or other officer acting as sheriff, his deputy, or any constable acting within their respective counties, any marshal, deputy marshal, or policeman of any incorporated city or town within the limits of the county, or any highway patrolman or state trooper may stop any person abroad in a public place whom he reasonably suspects is committing, has committed, or is about to commit a felony or other public offense, and may demand of him his name, address, and an explanation of his actions. Don't say shit about an identification or driver's license.
Right. So this guy was called basically to help with a flat tire, and he's getting arrested for it.
Yeah.
Come on, Huntsville, do better.
Yeah, he's got arrested for I think the actual charge is interference with government operations or something like that is what it's called.
Obstructing governmental operations.
Yeah. Obstruction. That is so ridiculous. They would try and slap that on that guy.
That's the coverall.
Oh my God.
Well, yeah, that's okay. We put this dude in handcuffs and we got to charge him with something. But the whole thing is what happened here is these cops got pissed off because he wasn't complying. Now, hey, what's up there, Stacy? Sykes Gaming's in the house. Alabama doing what it be doing. That's right. So if there was a thought that he was possibly stealing this car or vandalizing this car, that could have been dispelled way differently. All right. And then there is no requirement in the state of Alabama to hand over a driver's license to an officer that asks you for ID. Now, if you're driving, then yes, you have to give them your driver's license if you pulled over for a traffic infraction. But if they walk up to you like this guy here, there's no requirement in state law for you to give them an ID. All you have to do is give them your name, your address, and an explanation of what you're doing. He gave them an explanation of what he was doing. And
holy cow.
And they had, holy fuck. Holy shit, Jake! Look at that!
Shit!
Woo, son! I don't have no fancy shit on this thing to be able to do that. Oh my Lord, have mercy, Jake! I appreciate that. Jake just dropped a $100 super chat. Let me get it on the screen there. I'm sorry, I'm blocking y'all here.
I'll put the thumb up over it.
Y'all good? Y'all good with getting blocked? There we go. Okay. Anyway. So Jake said probable cause is important to know nowadays on both ends. That's right. Thank you so much for the $100, man. I hope that wasn't a mistake and I just took your grocery money. Holy poop. But really, if that was supposed to be $10, you just DM me privately. We'll fix that for you. But yeah, shit. Hell yeah. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that. But I got I do have some serious issues with this crack-like mentality. Southpaw said, damn, Jake, will you be my sugar daddy? But I don't understand what the infatuation is with the driver's license, other than I think it's a form of control. Mm-hmm. I think it's possibly a way to trigger the obstruction charge if they so choose to use it. And then Dade Rose, what's up? I got all excited there, didn't see you. Corey Earlywine, welcome, brother. Good to see you. I got all befuzzled over some cashola there that Jake dropped on us. But I've just got real issues with it's like it's an epidemic, man. It's not just in Alabama. It's not just local law enforcement. It's sheriff's departments. It's state. It's even feds. You know, everybody wants that damn ID.
They got your ID and you can't run from them because that's something that's a sign as government. I got your ID. You're not going nowhere. Hey.
Southpaw, you got to go to her OnlyFans for that, there, homeboy. You don't get them for free. You don't.
I mean, for $100, yeah, I probably would do it. But
whoa, well, okay, everybody got a price. There you go. So,
no, it's gonna go up a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, so expect a release before too long of onlyfans.com/Megan's double D's or whatever.
Well then.
Okay, so
what kind of show is it?
I hope we don't get totally demonetized and YouTube take that whole $100 back. Lord have mercy.
Hey there, Hoff.
Hoffman, how you doing, brother? Good to see you.
What up, brother?
Good to see
you. Doing well, man.
All right, Brooklyn, take it easy, brother. But I mean,
going back to that mail contract, is it common for officers in Huntsville to wear long sleeves? Like, usually a long sleeve shirt is a sign of a rookie officer. Maybe he was fresh out of academy and had, the whole attitude.
The uniforms have changed a lot. Let me get this back up on the screen for us here. So the uniforms have changed a lot. I don't know if he's a rookie or not, but I very rarely see long sleeve shirts on officers unless it's wintertime.
Right. This is middle of summer, June 10th.
Yeah. Or like, in some type of a dress uniform. I've all the officers I've seen lately, they don't even they wear short sleeves and they have an exterior vest on. now that says police, like a carrier vest that has, you know, slots for their taser and, you know, their body cam, and, you know, it's got all these different little pockets and hooks and all that stuff. Tristan Williams, what's up? Good to see you. J-Poc, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. So yeah, this guy, it may have been that he was a rookie. Because let me see if I can find.
I tried looking him up. There's nothing, no kind of information on this officer at all.
Yeah, I couldn't find him either by searching for his name. His name is Cameron Perillat.
Perilla.
I don't know.
Okay, Perilla.
Perillat. Perillat. Oh, you can't hardly see that on that screen, can you? But yeah, Cameron Perillat and Krista McCabe. Roland
Edgar.
Edgar.
Name sounds so familiar.
Who, Krista McCabe? Well, it's been on. It's there is somebody with a similar name that's been in the news before or something like that, but it's not this. Let's see. Let me put this back up. All right, so check this out. Listen to this conversation here.
Switch to my left when I asked you, sir.
All right, I'm gonna undo your cuffs.
Yeah.
And you twist your wrist around.
Yes, sir. Yes. I'm gonna give you my ID. I have my pocket.
Hey, man. Will you go stand in front of my car for me?
ID. Hold on. I'm giving you my ID. Man.
No, we'll get your ID.
Keep the wrist like that.
All right.
All right.
They're good. They're good now.
No, look.
They're good right now. They're not too tight.
Okay. You're under arrest for obstruction.
I didn't do nothing.
All right. So if you resist any further, you will also get charged with resisting arrest. You understand?
Listen, I give you my ID. I tell you what's going on. This is ridiculous. I'm trying to get a customer's car here. I'm in a rush. My shop's unlocked over on Governor's Drive right now. Man.
Oh my God.
Do you want my ID?
Where's your ID?
It's in the car, I'm sure. I thought it was in my pocket. Y'all down in my pocket for no reason. I said my ID is in my car. Go over and walk in and get my car.
Okay, well, he's still going to check your pocket because I don't know what's in there. All right? And you're not going to get placed in my car without knowing what's in your pocket. L47, hold on.
You shut up. Is that how you talk to someone? Is that officer?
Wow.
Yeah, we're here doing a custodial search on you.
I didn't do anything. What y'all need to do is.
This guy is a fucking tyrant.
He's a flat rookie.
Did I hear that right?
Yeah.
Did I hear that right? He told him to shut up.
Told him to shut up.
And he's still employed. I just pulled up his information. He is still employed by City of Huntsville.
You know, I would have absolutely lost my cool at that point. It's like I'm already arrested. The hell with it. What else do I got to lose?
Well, I mean, I get you have to keep a scene under control. You can't let it get out of control. You know, and law enforcement does have to maintain some level of control over a scene that they're on. But you don't have to be an ass about it.
No,
you know. Don't. And I can tell you now. I don't. So these are alpha units, which means this was in North Huntsville. North Huntsville is the alpha precinct. I didn't really come into contact with North Precinct officers too much. The store I used to catch shoplifters at was in West Precinct's area, and very rarely did I have any that weren't professional, right? So seeing something like this is out of the norm to me, just because it's not what I'm used to seeing from Huntsville Police Department. Now he filed a federal lawsuit, of course, alleging that they violated his constitutional rights, violated that he was subjected to unreasonable search and seizure, and that he shouldn't have been made to identify. Let me pop it back up on the screen here for you. So Krista McCabe, here's their names: Krista McCabe and Cameron Perillat. Stacy. Now, while I think that Officer McCabe was incorrect for demanding identification and for the way that she handled the initial approach and didn't do an investigation prior to putting someone in handcuffs, I think that the escalation came from Officer Paralat. Right. I think that had they just, I mean, the guy wasn't combative physically, right? And there's no requirement to be polite to police officers in the law either, right? They just have to be able to take some of that. They have to understand that this dude's in a stressful situation right now because he's fighting with this car. He's in a hurry. He knows his shop is unlocked over there. Now he's getting hassled by the police. This is the stuff going through his mind. So I think officers need to be mindful of that when they talk to people. Y'all got any comments on that so far before we read the opinion from the 11th Circuit?
Well, you said you had a hard time finding out these officers were still employed. I found the Cameron Paralat. He is still employed with the city of Huntsville as of the 10th of August of this year.
Does it have anything on him? It's when he was
link me that in private chat if you would, because
well, it's one of those special sites you got to pay for all the information.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Okay.
Yeah, because what I found, so I was looking at a roster of Huntsville police officers, but it was really outdated.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't find a newer one. Like this was like an official roster.
Right.
So I couldn't find the official thing. Brooklyn saw some teenagers set a fire and called earlier. He's just coming back in for a minute. The police published 3 teenagers were arrested in Caldecott area after fire crews were called to a grass fire. He saw him set some stuff on fire like a block or so away from his house and called the fire department and police to come out there, put it out. Good job, Brooklyn.
Hey, Ryan, welcome to live stream.
So Rye Wilson, where's Rye Wilson? I don't see him. Why is it
right there?
Okay, now it popped up for me. Mine's delayed. Mine's delayed when I have something else on the screen. Yeah. What up, Rye Wilson? How you doing there, brother? So he filed this lawsuit, and originally the first level court sided with the officers and said that they had qualified immunity and dismissed the case. And Mr. Edgar appealed that, and it went to the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals, and the 11th Circuit Court of Appeals did not side with the officers and actually said they do not have qualified immunity and that you can proceed with your case against them in federal court. So the appeals court is saying, yep, you can sue those officers individually and the city of Huntsville. And so this is the order and the opinion put out by the 11th Circuit Court after that. So this happened on June the 10th, 2019, of course. They arrested and took to jail Mr. Roland Edgar, a man who by all appearances committed no crime. Following his arrest, the city of Huntsville dismissed all the charges Officers McCabe and Paralat brought against him in the Huntsville Municipal Court, all but conceding that Edgar was guilty of no offense. Huntsville Police Department's mission statement calls on officers to serve their community by protecting life, liberty, property, and defending the constitutional rights of all people with compassion, fairness, integrity, and professionalism. Officers are reminded of this mission each day when they set out on patrol by the phrase emblazoned on their vehicles, to serve and to protect.
Apparently they missed it that day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As detailed below, defendants McCabe and Paralat unnecessarily escalated their interaction with plaintiff Roger Edgar prior to his arrest, an escalation that was captured on body cam. So the court went over that footage over and over again, and it says that they concluded that officers McCabe and Paralat didn't meet the standards set out in the Huntsville Police Department's mission statement. Those failings notwithstanding, that same body cam footage shows that there's no genuine issue of material fact in this case. While Edgar certainly committed no crime, officers McCabe and Paralat had arguable and only arguable probable cause to arrest him as to one offense. As such, defendants are entitled to summary judgment, blah, 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 blah. So that was the that was him trying to basically say give me a summary judgment now. No need for a trial. These officers are wrong. So the court is saying, no, they can argue the probable cause. So the defendants are entitled to a summary judgment, not to dismiss this case or but it's just by a hair's breadth, right? Mm-hmm. So they're going to send this back to its federal court. That there is a federal courthouse here in Huntsville, so it's going to be heard back again in Huntsville here. I haven't seen a court date set for it yet, but I'll be poking around. So we saw what happened when they walked up, and then here's the background. Mr. Edgar is a mechanic at Auto Collision Body Shop. On June the 9th, Kajal Gosh called Edgar and asked him to look at his wife's red Toyota Camry and to fix any issue that he found with it. There was paperwork attached to the trial, of course. Gosh told Edgar that the car was parked at Progressive Union Missionary Baptist Church in Huntsville, where his wife worked as a teacher. The car keys were left in the church office, and Gosh gave Edgar permission to drive the car to Auto Collision if necessary. On June the 10th, around 2 p.m., he drove to the church to check on her car. He picked up the keys left for him in the church office. They were in an envelope with his name on it. After getting the keys and starting the car, Edgar realized the car wouldn't steer properly, so he returned to Auto Collision. There, Edgar asked Justin Newby to go to the church with him to fix the tire on Miss Gosh's car and to bring the car back to the shop if necessary. So then they go back up there, and then at 8:05 p.m., Kendris Turner, the church's on-duty security guard, called 911. He reported to the dispatcher that he'd seen 2 Hispanic males on church grounds while on foot patrol. Specifically, Turner reported that the men were, quote, messing with an employee's car that was left on the lot, and that they had removed one of the car's wheels. Okay. So the security guard didn't know that somebody was supposed to work on the car. And if he thinks somebody's messing with the car, he has a duty to report that. Right. I don't necessarily fault him. Too bad, but he
could have done his job as a security officer and found out what was going on also.
Exactly. Oh, wait. Oh, yeah. Okay. Good find there. Let's get this up here. Holy shit.
What you got?
Captain Rice of the North Precinct awards Officer Paralight with the Captain's Award. These awards are given out to an officer of the North Precinct who has outstanding work performance for the quarter. This was on June the 5th, 2020.
Wow.
Oh, here's the comments. Hold on. Here comes the comments.
Yeah, the comments are wild. I've been reading the entire time. I've not been paying attention. I've been reading all these comments.
I'm wondering if they would give him an award for losing his qualified immunity and the city having to pay for his stupidity in the lawsuit. Let's see what else we got. There's a lot of congratulations, of course.
It was 3 years old ago. If you go back up and hit instead of most recent, hit the newest comments. Oh boy, hit it. Shit, little right says most relevant.
And the newest.
Yes.
Right. Can't wait until this guy has to work at Walmart. Oh, did baby have his immunity stripped for trying to arrest someone for no reason? I think Officer Krista McCabe and her partner should read and study and learn about the law and the Constitution they swore to uphold instead of eating at Taco Bell and noticing all the goodies that are on a table. Geez, and the judge who originally said that the cops in this case have qualified immunity, which was overturned by the appellate court, that judge should be voted out of office by the citizens of Huntsville during the next election. Pathetic. I hope they get sued, the city and those 2 officers personally. Start eating out of Kentucky Fried Chicken garbage cans in the future. Here's one that says, coward cop, say bye-bye to your qualified immunity. This kid's a fucking bitch. I hope you lose everything, you incompetent piece of garbage pig, piece of shit. Parallel is a tyrant thug along with McCabe, learn the law. Man, this just, whoo.
Yeah, it goes on and on.
Yeah, this goes on and on. So, yeah, Lord have mercy.
How can they sit there and honestly award a guy who doesn't uphold the Constitution or?
Well, because they hadn't been sued yet.
Yeah, that was before. Yes.
Yeah, that was probably before the lawsuit first
Yeah, it was
got filed.
2020.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
But they're not going to take that award away either, you know.
No. Once it's been issued, it's been issued.
Mhm.
So anyway, I mean, we saw what happened. You know, he tells them it's his customer's car. You know, they want that identification, and before he really even gets a chance to talk to him that much, they're already putting him in handcuffs, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where the court had the biggest problem with it, is that he's saying, I ain't going to submit to no ID right now. Listen, you call the lady right now. Listen, I don't have time for this. I don't mean to be mean, rude, or ugly, but, and then McCabe says, okay, no, you do need to give me your ID or driver's license. And then he says, I don't mean to be, no, I don't. Listen, I don't want you to run me in for nothing. And McCabe says, are you refusing me? Are you refusing to give me your ID or driver's license? And Edgar says, I'm telling you that if you will call this lady that owns this car, and then they start handcuffing him. So he never specifically said, yeah, I'm refusing to give you my ID. So there wasn't a specific refusal. There was a heated discussion about whether he needed to.
The cops obviously didn't like the fact that he was pushing back a little bit.
Right. So then the court breaks it down for us pretty good. Body cam footage unequivocally shows that McCabe first asked Edgar for his license or ID at 8:37 and 33 seconds. McCabe asked for Edgar's ID again at 8:37 and 43 seconds. That's 10 seconds later. Finally, McCabe asked if Edgar was refusing to give her his ID at 8:37 and 50 seconds. Officers McCabe and Paralat then arrested Edgar at 8:37 and 54 seconds. Only 21 seconds elapsed between McCabe's first request for Edgar's identification and his arrest. Yeah.
That's just ridiculous.
Yeah. So about 5 minutes after taking Edgar into custody and while waiting for the results of Newby and Edgar's license scans, Officer Paralat told Newby, what we don't like and what we can actually do is exactly what we just did, referring to Edgar's arrest. Later, minutes before she departed with Edgar in the back of her patrol car, Officer McCabe explained to Newby that Edgar wouldn't get away with stuff like that, acting the way that he did. To be sure, Edgar's attitude and demeanor towards officers McCabe and Paralat was unnecessarily argumentative, contrary, and disrespectful. It clearly contributed to his arrest. This seems especially clear since Officer McCabe certainly wanted to make sure that Edgar knew he couldn't act, quote, the way he did. The automobile he was called to repair had just slipped off the jack and had fallen to the pavement, but had the two officers simply asked a few more questions instead of rushing to take him into custody, they would have quickly discovered that he was guilty of no crime, and instead they just arrested him. So the legal standard here is, let me see if I can get to it, because they actually cover the identification part. Okay, so here we go. Fourth Amendment. He's suing under Title 42 of the U.S. Code, Section 1983. Under the Fourth Amendment, an individual has a right to be free from unreasonable searches and seizures. And then, they quote a bunch of different cases here. To determine whether he was falsely arrested, the court must compare his interactions with officers McCabe and Paralat to the categories of citizen-officer encounters noted above and determine into which category it best fits. Edgar argues that his initial encounter was consensual, but he subsequently was seized when they asked for his identification. It's fallen under an investigatory stop, but let me get down to the bottom because they actually break down. Okay, here we go. Well, they don't spell it out in this one here. This is, they do quote section 13A-10-2. A person violates that code when he obstructs a governmental operation by means of intimidation, physical force, or interference, or by any other independently unlawful act. That's very broad and vague,
Very,
which is dangerous. No reasonable officer could have looked at Edgar's behavior and found that he was physically interfering with the officer's operations or that he was intimidating them. Therefore, the court looks to whether Officer McCabe mistakenly but reasonably believed that she had probable cause to make an arrest. The undisputed body cam footage makes it clear that McCabe didn't ask Edgar for his name, and Edgar didn't refuse to explain his actions. However, a reasonable but mistaken officer could have believed that Edgar's failure to provide his driver's license violated that code. Now, I mean, it's pretty clear, though. Let's pull it back up. This is pretty clear on what you're required to give. You're required to give your name, your address, and an explanation of your actions. Now, yes, that can be satisfied by giving them your driver's license. Giving them your driver's license would satisfy your name and address. But nowhere in here does it list anything about a photo ID or a driver's license. It simply says your name and address. James Bickerdike, what's going on? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Help Police, welcome to the stream. What's going on? So what are y'all's thoughts on this? Jamie?
You know, I've always been, you see these folks on TikTok and YouTube and all that. They're the police to police folks. They get out in front of these places, take pictures and video recording and all that to try to exercise their constitutional rights and catch police violate the constitutional rights. You know, I'm really against that because you're just trying to entice them into arresting you to do your lawsuits to sue. In this case, I feel the guy was in the right because they asked for his ID. He chose not to give it to him at the time because he felt he was not committing a crime. He didn't have a work order. You know, he didn't have a work request. I was reading a little bit of information on it. The car had been sitting in the parking lot for several days before he was actually able to get around to it. He went that morning to pick the keys up, went to a shop to get tools to come back and work on that afternoon. And it was determined that he believed there was something wrong with the steering of the vehicle. So that's why he was working on.
Yep.
And from that point forward, now we'll catch up at this point right here. And I believe the officer in the long sleeve shirt was a rookie, and he just felt like he needed to flex his fresh out of academy muscles. That's just my personal opinion on that. I can't prove he is or isn't.
Yeah.
But I feel like they really crossed the line because they didn't do any kind of investigatory process on it. They didn't try to find out what he was doing. They would just sit there kind of watching and went from watching to asking for ID, and then he's in handcuffs in the back of a patrol car because he pissed him off because he wasn't respectful towards him.
And I think that's what it comes down to. I do believe that that's mostly what it comes down to is that he pissed him off and hurt their feelings.
Yeah.
I'm trying to but here's a key thing that I don't want to miss before I get to Steve and Megan about their thoughts. There's a key point that was made here by this 11th Circuit Court of Appeals that really sets some legal precedent in Alabama. And that is where, you know, they cover in that opinion that there's no requirement in state law that you show an identification. Right. So that had kind of become commonplace around here. I've seen them do it numerous times. Every shoplifter that got picked up that I caught shoplifting, never did they say, "Hey, what's your name and address?" They said, you got your ID. Well, normally I already had their ID at that point because I'm already doing my paperwork.
Mm-hmm.
But they asked for that ID. They never asked for what the statute says they're allowed to get, which is name and address. They want that ID, which will give you those two things. But the appellate court said you are not required to give ID if you're stopped by the police on the street, not driving. You're only required to give them your name and address and an explanation of your actions. If they have probable cause or reasonable articulable suspicion that you are involved in a crime. So that actually set some legal precedent in this case. Even though it seems simple, that's pretty major, because how many people have been arrested for obstruction in Alabama, just in Huntsville alone, because they didn't give an ID?
Right.
So I'm wondering if there's going to be some other cases pop up after this. But it was a 3-judge panel. And part of what they said in their summary is, so to summarize, it has been clearly established for decades prior to Mr. Edgar's arrest that the police are free to ask questions and the public is free to ignore them. You're not required to answer questions. But he was. He told them, I'm working on this car for one of my customers. He said the name. They could have called this lady. There's a whole lot of shit that could have went better. Now the citizens of Huntsville are going to get to pay out a lawsuit out of their taxes.
Yeah, because that could be in violation of his Fifth Amendment too. You know, self-incrimination. Even if he was committing a crime, I don't have to answer you.
Yep. So, Steve, what you think? What's your thoughts on this?
This guy was totally guilty. He was breaking the law left and right.
I mean, he didn't use a wheel shot, did he?
No, this was completely uncalled for. It was unjustified. These cops could have done a better job with what they were doing. They didn't have to throw this guy in cuffs 21 seconds after they initially started talking to him.
Yeah,
I think it's this clown over here, man. He's clearly on a power trip, and she's just of the she's one of them cops that just wants her authority projected bigger than what it actually is. I feel.
Yeah, these are my streets. Respect my authority.
Yeah, and it's that's ridiculous. But she's there, what it said, to serve and protect, and blah blah blah. But they're clearly not doing that. They are being tyrants here, and then this guy gets awarded for being a dick. I mean, come on now. I don't see how that's even how's that even a thing? Like. Now, is this court case, is this currently going on?
Yes. So this, hey, Lonnie, welcome to the stream. This case actually, it was just, let me get back to it. Where's the date? Wait, hold on. So that's not the one I want. I'm trying to see. So the original one was put out. The original case was kicked out November the 18th, 2021.
Damn.
That's when the original case was put out.
The litigation almost 2 years already.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Now the new one, this is the good one. This was appealed from U.S. District Court, Northern District of Alabama, and this is coming from the 11th Circuit. If y'all want to look it up, this is a case number, it's 21-14396, but it was released September 26th.
This was just 2 weeks ago, if that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So in this opinion, though, where some of the important stuff comes out, let's see. I'm trying to get to their summary. Man, it's hard to read this font. I'm half blind anyway because I can't see my computer screen with my glasses on, and I can barely see it with my glasses off. Let's see. The original court also didn't think that he'd committed a crime, but they also didn't think he could sue the police about it. This court, however, says in summary, Officers McCabe and Perlat violated Mr. Edgar's clearly established Fourth Amendment rights when they arrested him with neither actual nor arguable probable cause. Accordingly, we reverse the district court's grant of qualified immunity to the officers and remand for further proceedings. The district court dismissed Mr. Edgar's state law claims against Officer McCabe, Officer Paralat, and the city because it determined that arguable probable cause was a defense to those claims as well. It did not conduct any independent analysis on these claims and instead linked its decision directly to the finding of arguable probable cause on the federal claims. Accordingly, because we hold that there was no arguable probable cause, i.e. the lack of probable cause was clearly established, we vacate the district court's dismissal of the state law claims and remand for further proceedings. So it was reversed and vacated. So this is going to be going to trial, but unfortunately it's going to be going to trial in the same court that originally tried to grant qualified immunity to these officers to begin with.
I see it going to Supreme Court.
So therefore it's a catch-22 and it's going to be a kangaroo court.
He's probably going to have to appeal it again.
Yeah.
So he wasted more money, wasted more taxpayers' dollars.
I'm not sure if he's paying. So does it list his attorney?
I guarantee you he's going to pay court costs, but if he ends up winning, then the court costs are going to come out of whatever the winnings are going to be.
Yeah, well, so some civil rights attorneys do take cases pro bono, and I think they partner with some of the Institute for Justice and stuff like that. There's some funds out there to help people file lawsuits like this when they don't have the money to hire an attorney. Where is his name? It's Sherrod, something Sherrod. I've seen his name. Do you see it, Jamie?
I'm looking at the information right now.
What's the attorney's name? He's out of like Florence area.
So page 3. Page 3. Because I pulled it up just as soon as you said a court case.
Is it on page 3?
Clients is that's the clients. Is that where you was at? I don't even see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to pull up. So here, let's see. It might be in here. So here's a statement by the city of Huntsville. By the way, while I got that here, while the city is disappointed with the decision as it currently stands, we are still in the process of evaluating the decision and considering our options, the statement from the city's legal department said. Since the case remains ongoing, we will have no further comment at this time. Oh, here it is. I think this is where it breaks down. So Gregory Burgess and Stephanie Margaret Hall from Lanier Ford Law Firm represent the two police officers. They did not respond to requests for comment. Edgar's and his civil rights attorney, Hank Sherrod. There it is. So Hank Sherrod, let's see, let me put him. I've actually read, he has a blog that I've read. Hank Sherrod, attorney. Yeah, he is in. Share this tab. So here he is. He's out of Florence, Alabama. He is strictly a civil rights trial lawyer. That is what he specializes in. Mm-hmm. I hold law enforcement and jails accountable. And he don't like bullies. But he does police misconduct, jail wrongful death, and he's got a section here for notable cases. He got a 1.7. Now it doesn't give like specifics, but he's had some pretty decent sized settlements. 1.75 million. That looks like the largest one. Yeah, 1.75 million. Settlement for excessive force. Non-resisting suspect slammed to the ground by a police officer, resulting in serious injuries. $1.25 million settlement. Excessive force. Police officer shot and killed a man who was resisting arrest. So he's that's all he does. That's all he does. For 25 years, he's been doing civil rights cases. So, right, Steve, any further?
No, I just hope he wins it because this was actually crap. Did they take the guy to jail?
Oh yeah, he went to jail.
He went to jail. Was anything done with his shop that was open?
The other guy didn't go to jail. This dude over here, he went back to the shop. I'm sure. He wasn't his buddy wasn't arrested because he provided his ID.
So he just went in, got booked, and was released, probably on a bond.
Yeah, he's probably there for 2 or 3 hours at least.
So I'm reading up on this court case. The reason they arrested him for obstruction is Mr. Edgar physically threatened Officer McCabe in the moments following the camera slipping off the jack and hitting the ground because he jumped up and waved his hand, among other things. Per evidence, blah, 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 blah. The final interaction between Mr. Edgar and Officers McCabe and Parallel is depicted from 4 separate angles, showing he stands up, slapping his leg, and turns around to answer Officer McCabe's questions. Though he is clearly frustrated and gesturing as he speaks, his hands are empty. He stands in one spot without walking towards Officer McCabe.
So that's what she said was the physically
intimidation
part.
She's ridiculous. That broad.
Right, well, let's look at that part again then, and tell me if you find this physically intimidating.
No, I see bullshit. Here's what I see right there. That's bullshit.
All right.
He
Take
just
a break
put the
from me
metal
real
down.
fast, and y'all have driver's license or IDs on you?
I ain't gonna submit to no ID. Listen, you call the place right now. Listen, I ain't got time for this. Don't worry. I don't mean to be rude or nothing.
Okay, no, you do need to give me your ID or driver's license.
All he's doing is hand gesturing.
Now, I could see if he stood up with that
tire or something.
If he had something in his hand, that's one thing.
Right, and see, he had done put that down right there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Tools are down there. But watch Parallel as he's creeping up here. Hold on, let's specifically watch for him.
Boy, that would just really upset me. That looks like a 97
All right.
Camry, by
Take
the
a
way.
break from me real fast, and y'all have driver's license or IDs on you?
I ain't gonna submit to no ID. Listen, you call the place right now. Listen, I ain't got time for this. Don't worry. I don't mean to be rude or nothing.
Okay, no, you do need to give me your ID or driver's license.
Listen, I don't want you to run me in.
See how close he gets right there?
Yep.
He's ready to go hands.
He's ready to pounce. Yeah,
he's licking them lips. He's like, "I'm about to fuck this dude
Fresh
up."
meat.
We're gonna eat good tonight, y'all.
Yeah. So this dude's in North Precinct. Now, unfortunately, I'm not in North. I don't have any zip codes in North Precinct that often that I serve papers in. But Lord Jesus, I hope I don't happen to film something he's at. I'd probably get fucking arrested. Lord.
If Onyx gets pulled over by that guy, he better watch out.
Lord have mercy. I better have my fucking ID ready.
Just have it on a lanyard around your neck.
Look, I'm gonna be like this. I'm gonna tote something like this around. Let me see if I can get it. It's probably gonna be backwards, but
yeah. ID.
There you go. But yeah, I mean, I don't normally, I've had issues with one Huntsville police officer the whole time I've been out there doing filming and stuff, so I really, I mean, this catches me off guard because this is not what I'm normally used to seeing, but this is totally fucking wrong. And both of these officers should be sued personally, in my opinion, because I just get tired of the cities and towns and counties bailing out officers that just knowingly do shit they're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Instead of doing it wrong, they should just do it right. I mean,
well, they could have just taken a couple of more minutes to de-escalate, and they're like, okay, all right, well, you say you're here working on the Sage car. What's her name and phone number? Problem solved.
Mm-hmm.
Megan, what you think?
Well, I mean, like we had stated too, the first thing she does is walk up to him and she's like, "Hey, what y'all doing?"
It's like the dumbest question.
Like, not exactly the first question.
I'm trying to steal this fucking car. They don't have a tire on it.
Someone in the chat said too, I can't remember who it was, but they were like, "Why would you want to steal a car with a tire already off of it?"
Yeah. Well, see, by that point, he'd done taken the tire off of it because he was trying to work on the steering.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to steal a car, I'd want to make sure the tires are brand new so I can get plenty of miles.
I mean, that's
away.
probably what he's doing. He's probably doing a tire swap real quick. I'm stealing the car, but I want to make sure I'm safe when I do it.
Yeah.
So can't fault him for that.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, pretty much what Steve and Jamie said is what I would say too. Like, obviously this guy just walks right up. I'd be like, personal space, dude. Like, you're way too close, and I'm not even holding a weapon. I'm not holding anything in my hand. So I'd just be, I mean, I wouldn't blame this guy for suing him. I wouldn't blame him at all. And I think he should win it. Like pretty much, what they've said is what I think too.
Yeah.
I mean, my biggest thing is, he wasn't breaking a law. I don't know that they had enough reasonable suspicion to even think he might have been breaking a law, because they had the opportunity to dispel their suspicions by getting the name and phone number of his customer.
Yeah, all they had to do was call the customer and be like, hey, can you tell us what kind of vehicle you have, what color it is?
Yeah.
Just get the information. And then as long as everything's good, be on your way, go get a cheeseburger. You're all good.
They didn't do enough investigation. Well, they did do all that after they hooked him and put him in the car. They did their investigation. But see, my thing is, there's some things, there's some times where you can't do your investigation prior to detaining someone for safety. Right? This guy wasn't trying to run, he was trying to work on this car. You could have stepped back, let him work on this car, and the other officer go talk to people and figured out what's going on. I mean, there's a million ways it could have not led to that. And it just bothers me to know that, if I'm in a parking lot and then security calls and says they think I'm messing with the car and I'm trying to change my own tire, am I going to get asked for identification?
Probably.
Because I'm not going to give it. Because I'm not committing a crime. And you can run that plate. And I'll tell you my name. So you can verify that, it's my car.
Right.
But there's no requirement in the state of Alabama to give an ID in that situation. Only if you're actually driving and it's a traffic stop. So there you go. New ammo for folks that don't like the police in Alabama. They can argue that one now. They're not required to give an ID. Only required to give your name and address and explanation of what I'm doing, which that's always been in the law. It just always kind of got understood well, give me your ID because it has your name and address on it. And then I can run your driver's license number. But anyway, I'm not giving legal advice, but there you go. That's what the court said.
Take it for what you will.
Southpaw, so I could not find an official roster with his hire date and everything on it. So I don't know how long he's been with the police, but I've never met him or McCabe. I don't know either one of them. So I don't know. But I pretty much said everything I needed to say on it as we were going along. What's y'all's thoughts on the Decatur thing, real quick? The guy getting shot by the police in his front yard for not wanting his car to get repoed. Y'all want to try to follow up to that if they put out any more info?
Definitely.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd like to know more about that because that was absolutely BS.
Yeah,
absolutely.
The state's handling that investigation. They're not putting out any info right now. So,
what state was that in again?
That's here. That's Decatur, Alabama. That's 45 minutes, maybe 40 minutes from Huntsville.
Man,
it's on the other side of Athens and a little south.
Not only were they trying to take the wrong person's car, but they killed the homeowner also. That's amazing. Yeah. I can't even fathom that.
Now,
how could somebody be that? What's the word I'm looking for? Oh my God, I'm getting stressed.
Ignorant. Yeah. Well,
yeah, there you go. How could somebody be that ignorant? I mean,
their argument is that he pointed a pistol with a flashlight on it at the officers. Now, they do have to protect themselves if a gun is pointed at them, but I think that the whole situation was out of hand from the beginning, and I think that's what the family is arguing too, is that he didn't know they were cops. He thought this was a bunch of people trying to steal his truck that he knows not supposed to be repoed.
Well, you know what I saw in the video? I saw the guy walking down the hill from the front door toward the tow truck driver, and the cops came in behind the guy, and then he probably turned around at that point. But if you're going to turn around, you're not going to keep your gun straight, pointed out. You're going to put your gun up. If you're if you're a responsible gun owner, you know, I mean, so what I saw is that he was walking out toward the tow truck driver, and the cops came in behind him and shot him. That's what I saw.
And you know, and there's a whole nother flip side to this too. It's like, well, what if he had fired at officers in that split second?
Well, he would,
you know, officers only have a split second to respond.
Yeah.
So, you know, playing devil's advocate here, I can understand why the officers fired if he pointed a weapon at them. They don't have time to wait until one of them gets shot, right? But I just think coming from the side of somebody's house, trying to swarm behind them, I don't know that was a good idea. You know, make yourself known as a police officer. So, because if you've made it very apparent that you're a police officer approaching someone and they pull a weapon on you, they can't use the argument, I didn't know you were a cop. See what I'm saying? Because now his family has this argument because they come from the side of his house like some fucking burglars.
Yeah.
You know? And then, yeah, they did yell out, police, put the gun down. But at that point, he was already turning towards them. And then they started shooting. It was just, I mean, milliseconds. You know? So I don't know. This is going to be a case to follow for sure if they put out any info on it. So
did you hear if they had, you know, since, you know, police department or something like that before they fired?
Yeah, they did. Okay. Wait, let me pull it back up. All right, so here's the tow truck backing in again over here. Now, watch over in here because this is where the officers are going to come from. So they've been come up to the side over here.
What were they doing? Hopping fences?
That's what I don't know, man.
Because I saw the cop car drive by.
Here he comes out, and here they are. Okay.
It's get on the ground, bam, bam, bam. I was like,
they start firing instantly.
How do you fire somebody while you're telling them to get on the ground? Because obviously they're going to end up on the ground because you're shooting at them. I mean,
but watch. This is why the police say they fired. So watch real close. So he's got a flashlight on this weapon. I wish I could make this bigger, but I don't have this option on here. But watch his flashlight. You're going to see his light does shine back over here towards this garage. Right about the time they say, hey, 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 he's turned around. Then they say police, and then they start firing. But he was already pointing it at them before they said police.
Allegedly.
Did you see it?
Yeah, barely.
Yeah. So that's where they're saying he had pointed the weapon at them. So they had not identified themselves as law enforcement prior to him pointing it towards them. So I think that, and of course, he's deceased. The homeowner is. But I just don't think he had enough time to do it.
You don't have enough time in between saying, please get on the boom, boom, boom ground. I mean, I
don't think it's a conscionable decision to point a gun at them or not because it happened so quick. It came right like a SWAT team on them.
Yeah.
Over a truck repossession.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. Yep. Nuts. Sale Mustangs, welcome to the stream. Yeah. So they did call after the fact, but this is after he's already had his freedom stripped from him and locked up. They did figure out everything was cool, which is why the city dropped all the charges because he was not guilty of any of this crime. They even dropped the not resisting, the obstruction charge for not giving his ID. But they did talk to the husband of the woman whose car it was. They even went in and talked to people at the church. My thing is a lot of that should have been done before putting this guy in handcuffs. Now, had he been truly physically combative and swinging those tools around, okay, handcuff him first, get him detained first. But he wasn't going anywhere. He was just trying to work on this car. He hadn't been physically threatening. You had time to do some investigation. You could have called before demanding his ID and putting him in handcuffs. And you know, while even though they did that, they still took his ass to jail for the obstruction just because he didn't give him driver's license. They already knew he wasn't guilty of anything, but still took him to jail because he didn't give him driver's license. That's the charge that got him arrested, was not giving the ID. But yeah, good point. I didn't have time to show a whole 40-minute video. So I just got the point where the problems were. The investigation afterwards was done fairly correctly. It just needed to have been done a little sooner, you know, and they should have let him go. They should have let him out of that car right there on the scene after they did that digging.
Absolutely. They should have.
They were already wrong for putting him in there, and they should have let him out and not taking him to jail and actually charge him with that charge. That's a you pissed me off, so I'm going to charge you with something charge.
Yeah, well, that's a bunch of crap too. Yeah. Because I mean, as a fellow auto collision guy, I can honestly tell you that working on a car outside in a parking lot where your tools are not, and you only have a handful of things, and if you find something wrong, it's extremely stressful because now you're running back and forth.
Yeah. And he had been back and forth. That's the thing.
See, now I know exactly where he's coming from. He's stressed out. He's pissed off. He had to do it a few times, and now this chick rolls up and she's like, "What are you doing?"
Well,
what it look like I'm doing? I'm baking a cake. I mean, come on.
Yep. So originally they got there and he was going to drive the car back to his shop, but then he realized something was wrong with the steering, so he had to go back to his shop, come back with some tools so he could figure out what was going on with the steering before he could even take it to his shop. So yeah, he was not having a pleasant run with it.
He should have called a tow truck.
Yeah.
He should have called a tow truck.
Well, yeah. I guess he should have given him his ID too. But I mean, there was a lot of different choices that made shit go a different way that day.
Yeah.
I say that in jest. I don't believe he should have had to give ID. I don't think they had enough reasonable suspicion for that identification. Any closing thoughts?
Pretty much covered everything tonight.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah, we were pretty vocal tonight.
Yeah.
Megan, you still got some of that cake left?
I do. I still got half a cake left.
Oh, half a cake? Really?
Yeah. I mean, it's like one of those like 8-inch little round cakes and everything. And my mom, we cut it in half, and then we've eaten half of it, and then we're working on the other half.
Wow.
She keeps asking me, she's like, "Are you going to keep sharing with us, or are you just going to eat the whole thing by yourself?" I'm like, "I'm going to keep sharing. Like,
yeah,
you want me to walk to my job with the shits tomorrow and be like,
Yeah, for real. So Megan is starting a new job tomorrow, so she's got a congratulations on the new job cake that they've been eating. Yes, yay.
That I bought myself.
Hey, look, that's okay.
Yeah.
When I left, I used to work for Belk in Natchez, Mississippi before I got promoted and moved up here, and when I left from there, they threw me a whole going away party. I got a watch from my store manager, a really nice watch with a little diamond in it. I got a shirt from my buddy that worked with me, my partner that was with me in asset protection, and they had a cake. They had food. It was a whole shindig. Well, when I put my 2-week notice in at the Belk up here in Huntsville, after the whole COVID thing, when they told me I couldn't put my hands on shoplifters anymore, when I left there, I got jack shit, man, like nothing. I mean, of course, the store manager tried to talk me out of leaving or whatever, but I worked my 2 weeks out. On my way out, I handed my handheld store phone and my keys and my asset protection identification to the store manager on the way out. And that was it.
That's a hearty hi-ho silver after that, right?
Yeah. I mean, I didn't leave hating them or anything like that, but you know what? It sure would have been nice. We had an Great American Cooking Company right there in Bridge Street. They could have got me one of them fucking cookie cakes or something.
They should have.
Yeah, nothing. No, wish you luck. We're going to miss you. Nothing like that. Now, of course, every time I go in there, I have people ask me, "Are you coming back? Are you coming back?" Hell to the no. Hell to the no.
Yep.
This old dog can't learn those new tricks about not touching shoplifters. I grabbed shoplifters and drug them back inside for 20 years. I can't watch people run away with my shit. I can't do it. I'd get fired. I'd be there one day and get fired, and I just ain't gonna do it.
So they told you weren't allowed to do it, and you said, you know what?
Yep, I'm out. You
said deuces.
Fair enough.
Yep, I'm out. Because I didn't want to get the company in a lawsuit, and I didn't want to get fired.
Yeah.
I even left as a company man. It was my job to keep the company from getting sued and save money, and I saved money on the way out. Now they're paying the person that took my place a hell of a lot less than they was paying me.
And stuff's still getting stolen.
Yep. Oh yeah. Max Reltney, what's going on? You coming in just at the end there, brother? All right. No other closing thoughts, Jamie. You got your bike ready to hit the road? Did you get all that worked out?
No. I was something that's not making good connections, so my starter solenoid is doing nothing but clicking. So I got to get back out tomorrow and flip some wires around. So you saw the whole wiring diagram I was trying to track down.
That looked like Chinese to me.
Yeah.
That broke my brain.
I don't know nothing about all that. I don't know nothing about all that. Steve looked at it, and he probably knew right what he's looking at.
I saw it. I knew exactly what it was.
All right. Well, I reckon that's going to do it. We will be back here next week, as far as I know. Is there anything weird going on next week? What do we got going on?
Thanks, Max. Symmetry of beards on the bottom.
Next week's the 15th, and we got the 22nd. I don't know. I don't know when they're doing trick or treating here. There may be an issue with the 29th, Sunday the 29th. I got to find that out because I got grandkids. You know how that is. But anyhow, that's I guess that's going to do it for us. Then we'll see you back here next week, right? God willing, and the creek don't rise. Yeah,
that's it.
All right. Bye, everybody. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
Bye, everybody.
I have a dream. That's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want, so I'll take it on. I've made mistakes, but mistakes make you strong. Let's break it down for a minute. I want the crown, I'm gon' get it. You hear me loud, man, I'm winning. Yeah, Charlie Sheen will be grinning. These ladies know that I'm sinning, and this is just the beginning. I'm closing in the night inning. There ain't no point in resisting. Living life like a dream, live it right, that's the thing. Every night got a team, I've been tied to the scene. Out on stage, here on screen. Okay, it's a dream, and I pray as a team. One day it'll be me. If I want it, then I get it. Head down, don't regret it. Push myself to the limit. If I play it